All right, everybody, I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. Today, I want to give you all an update from the IRS that was just released today, Monday, June 7th, on the advance payments of the 2021 Child Tax Credit. These are the payments to parents worth $300 per month for children under the age of 6 and $250 per month for children ages between 6 and 17. We have a little bit more information from the IRS on the timing of this that was just released today, June 7th. So let's head on over to the IRS website and go over this announcement from the IRS. First thing to note is that the IRS has started sending letters to more than 36 million families who may qualify for the monthly child tax credits. Payments will start July 15th. We already knew about this July 15th date in the last update I gave you on this from last month, but we have a little bit more information about when the other monthly payments will hit in this announcement from the IRS. I'm going to get into it here real quick. Okay, so first thing you should know are these letters, right? IRS likes to do this when they're going to send out money, whether it's the refund for the exclusion of the $10,200 unemployment compensation in 2020, whether it's the stimulus. Well, some of the stimulus letters were sent after they were received, but IRS likes to send letters just to kind of document what's going on to taxpayers. So it sounds like the IRS has started sending letters out to 36 million American families who the IRS has identified as being eligible to receive these monthly child tax credits, the advance payment of the child tax credits beginning in July. This is good news. This is a sign that the IRS is on track to meet its promise of starting to deliver these payments July 15th. Okay, let's keep reading here. This first letter here, we already knew this, right? The expanded child tax credit and the advanced monthly payments thereof was authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act. That was the March Stimulus Act. The letters are going to families who may be eligible based on information they included in either their 2019 or 2020 federal income tax return, or who use a non-filer's tool in IRS.gov last year to register for an economic impact payment. So we already knew this, right? We already knew that the IRS is going to be looking at 2019 and 2020 tax returns to determine who they should start sending these monthly payments to beginning in July, right? They're going to look for your income, right? Because there's income limitations on these monthly payments. I went over that in my video covering the expanded 2021 child tax credit. Link at the top of the screen if you missed that video. They're going to look for the children on your tax returns, right? That you listed as dependents on your 2019 or 2020 tax return and their ages, right? To determine your eligibility for these monthly payments. This part is new though. At least it's new to me. I don't think the IRS announced this in a previous update. Or who used a non-filer's tool in IRS.gov last year to register for an economic impact payment. Of course, a non-filer's tool was essentially a 2019 tax return filed with like $1 of income, right? So maybe that was kind of covered by stating this previously. But as far as I know, this is the first time the IRS has explicitly said they're going to be looking at the non-filers tool that people filed last year and listed their children on the non-filers tool for stimulus. They're going to use that information as well, to start sending out monthly payments to folks beginning in July, payments to parents. Okay, then the IRS says there's going to be a second letter. Families who are eligible for advanced child tax credit payments will receive a second personalized letter listing an estimate of their monthly payment, which begins July 15th. Okay, so there's going to be this initial letters that the IRS has already started sending. It sounds like this is going to be a non-personalized letter just saying, hey, you may be eligible to receive these advanced payments of the child tax credit beginning July 15th. And then there's going to be this personalized letter, right, that lists an estimate of their monthly payment, right, which is going to be based on the information IRS has about that person or that family based on their tax return or the non-filer's tool. Now, most families, similar to stimulus, right, most families do not need to take any action to get their payment. Normally, the IRS will calculate the payment amount based on the 2020 tax return. If that return is not available, either because it has not yet been filed or it has not yet been processed, the IRS will instead determine the payment amount using the 2019 return. So this is very similar to stimulus, right? First, they're going to be looking at the 2020 tax return to determine who they should start sending out these monthly payments to. If they haven't filed 2020 yet, or the 2020 return hasn't been processed yet, they're going to look to 2019 and use 2019 to determine eligibility and amounts of these monthly payments. So here's the math here. or where it says eligible families will begin receiving advance payments either by direct deposit or check. No mention of stimulus debit cards, thank God, right? Because that was a real hassle for a lot of folks. So either by direct deposit or check. I imagine similar to stimulus. If the IRS has your direct deposit information on file, meaning you filed a tax return through and you received a refund direct deposited to your account from the IRS, I imagine you'll be direct deposited. If you use an on-filers tool, right, and there is direct deposit information on there, same thing. This says the payment will be up to $300 per month for each qualifying child under the age of 6, and up to $250 per month for each qualifying child ages 6 to 17. We've covered this previously, right? How this is working is the total expanded 2021 child tax credit for children under the age of 6 is $3,600, right? $3,600 divided by 12 is $300, okay? So there will be a $300 payment in July, $300 payment in August, $300 payment in September, October, November, December, okay? So for children under the age of 6, right, whose parents qualify for this, there will be a total of $1,800 per child paid in incremental monthly payments from July to December 2021. Okay, and then the remaining $1,800 portion of the credit will be claimed as a credit on their tax return. Completely refundable credit, right? Even if you don't have the tax liability to absorb it, you will be able to get this money back in your pocket when you file a tax return. For children ages between the ages of 6 and 17, okay, the credit amount is $3,000. $3,000 divided by 12 is $250. So parents will receive a monthly payment of $250 for each of their children they have between the ages of 6 and 17. $250 in July, $250 August, September, October, November, December. And then they'll claim the other half, right, the $1,500 that they did not get as monthly payments as a tax credit on their tax return. Okay, there's no limit that I've seen as far as the number of children goes. Okay, so if you have, let's say you have 2 children, let's say you have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Okay, so what would that be? You get $3,600 plus $3,600, right? So that's $7,200 for the ones under the age of 6, plus $3,000 for the 7-year-old. So that's $10,200 plus $3,000 for the 9-year-old. So what is that? $13,200 in total credits. So what would your monthly payment be? So you'd be getting a monthly payment of $1,100, right, for 6 months. So you'd be receiving $6,600, throughout 2021 as monthly payments, and then you'd also claim a $6,600 credit, the remainder that you didn't get through the monthly payments on your 2021 tax return. So that's how that works. Now, this is new information here. The IRS will issue advanced child tax credit payments on July 15th, August 13th, September 15th, October 15th, November 15th, and December 15th. Okay, so it wasn't clear. I think previously they said that payments would be made on the 15th of each month, unless the 15th falls on a holiday or a weekend. And then I wasn't sure, okay, if the 15th is a holiday or a weekend, does that mean the payment will hit before the holiday or weekend or after? And it looks like they're going with before. Right, because August 15, 2021 is that's a Sunday there, so that they're going to pay it before, right? So that's actually helpful to folks, right? Okay, so those are payment dates you can expect. This is older information. We've been talking about this before, but basically, if your 2020 tax return is, well, there's some strategy here, right? If your income is below the limitations, and here are the limitations right here, right? Same as stimulus. And this is only for the expanded portion of the child tax credit, okay? For the old portion of the child tax credit, $2,000 per child, there's higher income limitations. For the expanded portion of the child tax credit, right, which is the $1,600, right, over the old $2,000 for children under the age of 6, and is $1,000, right, over the $2,000 for children between the ages of 6 and 17. For that expanded portion amount for 2021, the income phase outs are lower than for the $2,000 portion. Watch my video on the child tax credit; it'll all make sense there. So if you're under these income limitations for both 2019 and 2020, I mean, you're probably in no rush to file 2020 unless you had a child in 2020, right? And you want to make sure the IRS knows about that child. Now, let's say that you made more than these threshold amounts in 2019, but less than these threshold amounts in 2020. You want to hurry and file your 2020 tax return if you haven't yet, right? Now, if it's the opposite, right? If you made, what was the scenario I just gave? I think where you made more in 2019, less in 2020. What if you made less in 2019 and more in 2020? Right? You're over these, let's say you're under these amounts for 2019, but you're over these amounts for 2020 for your filing status. Well, in that case, you might want to hold off, right, on filing your 2020 tax return until the IRS starts dishing out these payments, right? Obviously, you don't want to go past the extended due date of the return, October 15th. Another component here is your 2021 income. If your 2021 income is going to be over these amounts, right, and your 2020 income is lower than these amounts, then you want to file your 2020 ASAP, because you're not going to be eligible to take the latter half of the credit on your tax return, on your 2021 tax return, if your income's over these amounts. Well, okay, not exactly. It'll be phased out, right? It'll be phased out over these amounts, right? But you're going to be eligible for the full credit, or the second half of the credit if your income is over these amounts. So there's some strategies here. Kind of just think through what the IRS is going to be looking at, and also think through your 2021 income for your eligibility to claim the latter half of the credit on your 2021 tax return. But the IRS is just saying, hey, so there's a little more nuance to this, right? The IRS is just saying, hey, file your returns as soon as possible, but there is a little more strategy, right? If you're kind of on the brink of those income levels or whatnot to make sure you get the most money in your pocket as possible. Filing soon will ensure the IRS has the most current banking information, obviously, as well as key details about qualifying children. They're saying that those who don't normally file tax returns, such as families experience homelessness, rural poor, and other underserved groups, if they didn't use non-filers, they should file a 2020 tax return, right, in order to get these monthly payments. For most people, the fastest and easiest way to file returns by using the free file system. You can, file a 2020 tax return with $1 of income, right? Make sure you list yourself, your spouse, your children on there. That can communicate to the IRS, hey, here's my situation, right? If you're a non-filer, if you don't have a filing requirement otherwise. Now, the IRS is saying throughout the summer, the IRS will be adding additional tools and online resources to help with the advanced child tax credit. One of these tools will enable families to unenroll from receiving these advance payments and instead receive the full amount of the credit when they file their 2021 tax return next year. I don't know why you'd want to do this. I'd rather have the money in my pocket now, but maybe some people just want the simplicity of just doing it as I've always done and just, claim the whole thing on their tax return. One word of caution here is 2021's not over, right? And maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, I'll just claim the whole thing on my 2021 tax return next year. Well, what if you get lucky, right, in 2021? What if you somehow get some massive bonus? Or what if you start a side hustle that really takes off? Or what if you make a ton of money in the stock market or something that takes you over these income limits, right? Well, then you won't be eligible for the credit on your 2021 tax return. Okay, so I can see why the IRS might say this, but you kind of got to think, well, okay, why wouldn't I want to get the monthly payments in advance, right? We don't know what's going to happen in 2021. It's not over yet, right? We have 7 more months in 2021, including this one, June. The IRS is also saying that later this year, individuals and families will be able to go to irs.gov and use a child tax credit update portal to notify the IRS of changes in their income, filing status, or number of qualifying children, update their direct deposit information, and make other changes to ensure that they're receiving the right amount as quickly as possible. So it does sound like later this year, right, the IRS will be setting up some kind of a portal where you can go there, you can let the IRS know of changes to your income. And I'm wondering how this is going to work here. Like, who would voluntarily tell the IRS, hey, my income went up, don't send me these payments, right? It's also not clear if you were paid too much of the advanced. Let's say in your 2021 tax return, you don't qualify because you make too much. Well, you have to pay back an amount you received in 2020. I haven't seen any guidance one way or the other on that. But with stimulus, that's not the case, right? And I'm hoping they follow that here as well. So hopefully, this is only to notify the IRS is if your income is lower than on your most recently filed tax return. Filing status, number of qualifying children. So I'm hoping that if you had a child born in 2021, you'll be able to use this portal to tell the IRS, hey, I have an additional child born in 2021. But it doesn't explicitly say that here, right? But I'm hoping that's what this means, that you can use this child tax credit update portal to tell the IRS, hey, I have another baby, so send me, money for the baby. Also, of course, update your direct deposit information and make other changes to ensure they're receiving the right amounts quickly as possible. Now, what another question I have is, okay, let's say you did have a child in 2021. Let's say you have one child, or no, let's have this example. Let's say you had your first child in 2021. Let's say that they don't get this portal up until August. Are they gonna, and you fill out the information in August, so you get an August payment of $300, right? Because now they know about your child born in 2021. Are they going to send you a plus-up payment of the $300 payment you missed in July because the portal wasn't up yet? That's not clear to me. I hope the IRS will continue to give us updates here as time goes by to let us know what's going on with this. It says the IRS has created a special advance child tax credit 21 page here. I think I already went here. Yeah, we've seen this before. I've gone over this before. This is older. Yeah, last reviewed or update. Yeah, I went over this last month. Any updates since then? I don't think so. I think we've covered all that previously. Now, they are saying that in the next few weeks, the page will also feature other useful new online tools. So they're saying that this will be the page where they're going to put these new tools. Okay. irs.gov/child tax credit 2021, which redirects to this longer URL. Anyway. So they're going to have a tool to help families determine whether they qualify for the advanced child tax credit payments. I imagine that's some kind of calculator, right, where you input, your filing status, your income, number of qualifying children, and then also the child tax credit update portal. And I believe that is what was mentioned here, right, that I just talked about in this video. Will initially enable anyone who has been determined to be eligible for advance payments, unenroll, or to opt out of the advanced payment program. Okay, so first, in the next few weeks, this portal is going to come out. And at first, the only thing you can do on there is opt out of receiving the payments in advance. So you're going to claim the whole thing on your 2021 tax return. And it's saying later this year, it will allow people to check the status of their payments, make updates to their information, and be available in Spanish. Okay, so this whole update thing, they don't have a date on it yet. This could be way later in the year. And again, this goes back to the question of, okay, what if they don't get this thing up until August or September, to update, if they had a child in 2021, are they going to plus up payments, right, for the missed payments because the portal wasn't up before July 15th? Or maybe the IRS will surprise us, and maybe the portal will be up in time, but I doubt it. In time for the first payment, but I want to keep my fingers crossed on that. More details will be available soon about the online child tax credit update portal. Okay. And this is just the information that we've already covered. I've covered all this in my my video before on the 2021 updated child tax credit. Just to go over the basics again, like I said, the amount is $3,600 for children under the age of 6, $3,000 for children between the ages of 6 and 17. Here's those AGI limitations I said previously. Right, and so to get the $2,000 piece, right, the $2,000 piece, the income limitations are higher. Let me pull them up. Right, so for the $2,000 piece, right, it's similar to tax year 2020. The credit begins to phase out at $200,000 of modified adjusted gross income for single filers and $400,000 for married filing jointly. Right, so that's just for the $2,000 piece. But for the additional component, right, which is $1,000 per child for children between the ages of 6 and 17, and $1,600 per child for children under the age of 6, right, these thresholds are much lower. So, in fact, your credit amount is reduced by $50 for every extra $1,000 in modified adjusted gross income above these amounts. Okay, so that's similar to the stimulus, right? 5 cents on the dollar reduction above those amounts. And the entire credit is fully refundable for 2021. So that's nice, right? Because previously only a portion of the child tax credit was refundable. But now this is saying that even if you don't owe any federal income tax or you don't have the tax liability to absorb the credit, you can still get it as a refund on your 2021 tax return, right? Yeah, before this year, 2020 and previously, the refundable portion was limited to $1,400 per child. This is just saying the IRS is urging groups, who have an audience to tell people about this, which I feel I'm doing here on YouTube. So that's basically the update here, folks. Still a lot we don't know, but thankfully the IRS has given us a little bit more information on this. And I of course check this every day. I check this every day. I check the IRS's website every day, right? Basically for more information on these payments, as well as other things that we talk about here on the channel, such as the refund, right, for the unemployment compensation received in 2020. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.